Oh, it's happening. The Shedeur Sanders hype train is no longer a quiet whisper tucked behind cautious optimism. It's barreling down the tracks with Cleveland's quarterback room tied to the rails, and no one can pretend it's just smoke anymore. This isn't just another off-season feel-good story about a rookie getting a little hot in training camp. This is a seismic shift in energy, culture, and expectation. And it's all thanks to a fifth-round quarterback with a famous last name who just might be writing his own legacy in bold, capitalized ink. If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed. Let's start with that now viral video. You've seen it. Everyone's seen it. Shedeur Sanders out in the rain, grinding the kind of weather that makes other players sleep in. No cameras, no PR team. Just a Browns helmet, soaked cleats, and the unmistakable rhythm of a quarterback obsessed with getting better. That clip didn't just go viral because of the aesthetic. It went viral because it meant something. It confirmed what those inside the building had already started murmuring. This guy wants it more. He doesn't just want to play in the NFL. He wants to own it. And in Cleveland, a city that has been burned by more quarterback mirages than most fans can stomach, that kind of fire feels different. Coaches noticed. You think Kevin Stefanski doesn't watch those videos? You think the front office doesn't track every rep, every throw, every moment of dedication? They do. And more importantly, the locker room does. That's where the shift is happening. Because for all the talk about game plans and preseason depth charts, there's one thing that decides locker room dynamics faster than any press conference: respect. And Shedeur is earning it every day. Not with words, but with precision, with hustle, with tape that doesn't lie. Let's break this down. He's completing over 75% of his passes in camp. That's not just high. That's alarmingly high for a rookie adjusting to a pro-speed defense. His touchdown-to-interception ratio in drills, crisp. His ability to read the field, scan, and throw with anticipation, veteran level. And he's doing it while rotating in with second and third-string receivers. Imagine what happens when he's synced up with the ones. And yet, the Browns are still acting like this is just a feel-good subplot. The front office, perhaps still haunted by past failures, seems hesitant to fully hand over the keys. Maybe it's politics. Maybe it's the sunk cost of past quarterback investments like Deshaun Watson or Kenny Pickett. Or maybe it's just fear, the fear of placing their faith in a rookie and getting burned again. But here's the thing. The tape doesn't care about fear. The locker room doesn't care about draft status. And Sanders? He's not asking for permission. He's taking it. You can feel it brewing. Teammates have started talking about a command of the huddle. Coaches are subtly changing their tone. Every rep he takes is louder than any press conference quote. And the fans, well, the fans are already sold. In a city that lives and dies by its football team, Browns fans are not easily impressed. They've been through too many false starts to jump on every bandwagon. But this feels different. Sanders isn't just another shiny new prospect. He's showing poise, toughness, and growth in real time. He's showing intent. This isn't a quarterback learning to be confident. It's a quarterback ready to lead. Let's talk about that QB room because, oh boy, is it messy. Deshaun Watson, the big money name, is still healing. There's little clarity about his timeline or ceiling. Kenny Pickett, the Steelers' cast-off, hasn't exactly set the world on fire. Dylan Gabriel, athletic but shaky, too inconsistent to build a season around. And then there's Joe Flacco, who's less quarterback of the future and more nostalgic insurance policy. In that chaos, Shedeur Sanders is bringing order. He's not just the best long-term bet. He might be the best quarterback on the roster. Right now, today, and that realization is starting to set in with the coaching staff. They're rotating him into more high-pressure situations, giving him red zone reps, letting him call audibles. This isn't just evaluation anymore, it's preparation. Still, some in the media continue to hedge. They argue he's not ready, that it's too soon, that a fifth-rounder needs to wait his turn. But here's the problem. That's not how football works anymore. This league doesn't wait for resumes. If you can play, you play. Look at Brock Purdy. Look at Jalen Hurts. Look at C.J. Stroud. The age of waiting for 3 years behind a clipboard is gone. And Shedeur knows it. That's why he's attacking every rep like it's week 1. Because it just might be. Of course, there's still a narrative about his dad, Coach Prime. The media loves to frame Shedeur's rise as a byproduct of Deion's spotlight. But anyone who's been paying attention can see this kid's putting in the work. This is an entitlement. This is effort. This is hunger. He's carving his own path. And the Browns have a chance to benefit in a massive way if they're brave enough to pull the trigger. Make no mistake, starting Shedeur isn't just a personnel decision. It's a philosophical one. It means a franchise is willing to put faith in performance over pedigree, hunger over hype, reality over reputation. And that's terrifying. But it's also exactly what they need, because the alternative is more the same. Another season of patchwork QB plans. Another cycle of what-ifs and next years. Shedeur Sanders isn't a maybe. He's a yes, waiting for the franchise to catch up. He's what this team has been searching for in a quarterback. Not just someone who can make the throws, but someone who changes the temperature in the room, the tone, the standard. And while the Browns organization may still be deliberating, the fan base is not. They've seen enough. They've watched the film, they've followed the workouts, and they've read the stat lines. Most importantly, they've felt the shift, the buzz, the belief that maybe, just maybe this time, the hype is real. So what now? Do the Browns play it safe and stick with the known quantities? Or do they lean into momentum, let go of fear, and hand the reins to a rookie who looks more ready than most veterans? Whatever they choose, they won't be able to silence the drumbeat, because that drumbeat is getting louder with every pass Shedeur throws, every practice he commands, every moment he owns. And if they're smart, they'll listen to it. Because this isn't just a training camp headline. It's the beginning of something real, something dangerous, and maybe, finally, something Cleveland can believe in. He's exposing everything Cleveland has done wrong about quarterbacks for the last 20 years. Because let's be real, the Browns have been chasing ghosts. From Brady Quinn to Johnny Manziel, from RJ to Baker Mayfield to Deshaun Watson's drama-packed saga, the franchise has been playing a perpetual game of quarterback roulette and losing. Every time a new name walks through the door, hope spikes for a moment before collapsing under the weight of reality. Either the talent doesn't pan out, or the organization smothers it with dysfunction. But with Shedeur, something feels different. Not just because of his raw skill, not even just because of his elite football IQ, but because of his poise. That word gets tossed around too easily, but in Sanders' case, it's earned. When the practice field turns chaotic, when defenses are collapsing the pocket, he doesn't flinch. He recalibrates. He adapts. And more importantly, he leads. Leadership. That elusive, unteachable trait. That's what makes or breaks a quarterback in the NFL. And Shedeur's got it in spades. You can hear it in the way teammates describe him. Quietly commanding. Focused. Detail-obsessed. He's not barking orders. He's setting a tone. And the locker room is starting to move to his rhythm. The offensive line has taken note. He knows their names, knows their tendencies, thanks them for holding blocks and walk throughs. Receivers love him. His timing on slants and corner routes is already dialed in like they've been working together for years. He's winning the huddle the old-fashioned way, through relentless preparation and quiet confidence. Contrast that with Kenny Pickett, who, while more experienced, still seems to second-guess every throw, playing like he's waiting for permission to be bold. Dylan Gabriel has the tools, but his footwork still isn't there, and his reads take just a beat too long. These aren't flaws, they're developmental stages. But Shedeur, he's already sprinting past that curve. And you know who's watching this the closest? Deshaun Watson. Because while the front office tiptoes around Watson's injury status, everyone inside the building knows the real tension. The organization tied a fortune to him. The contract, the PR baggage, the headaches, and now, on the other side of the facility, a fifth-round rookie is cooking. You think Watson's not feeling the heat? Whether he says it out loud or not, he knows the NFL doesn't wait. especially not in Cleveland. Especially not when a city that's been starved for quarterback greatness sees something they believe in. If Watson doesn't show up healthy, sharp, and scandal-free, the pressure to pass the torch is going to grow deafening. Not next year. Not next month. Now, that's the wild part. The Browns aren't just evaluating a backup quarterback. They're staring down a full-blown quarterback revolution. Because Shedeur isn't just winning in practice. He's winning the narrative. And narratives are powerful in this league. Let's not ignore what's fueling that narrative. There's something deeply compelling about the son of an NFL legend coming in with a target on his back and still earning respect the hard way. Shedeur is not coasting off the primetime brand. In fact, if anything, that legacy has made things harder for him. Every throw he makes is picked apart, every slip-up magnified. But instead of shrinking, he's grinding, and people notice. That's why his story resonates beyond Cleveland. It's not just about football. It's about proving people wrong, about rising from the fifth round, where teams passed over him again and again, and forcing your way into the conversation. It's that chip on the shoulder. It's Rocky Balboa at training camp. It's Tom Brady 2.0 with TikTok energy. And now the Browns have to figure out what they're going to do about it, because there's no putting this genie back in the bottle. Let's look ahead. Preseason is around the corner. If Shedeur takes snaps in those early games and keeps playing at this level, efficient, explosive, poised, Cleveland fans will start demanding more. Sports radio will erupt. Players will start talking in post-game interviews. Every snap will be a referendum. It won't matter what the draft status was. It won't matter what the original plan said. The Browns will be in real-time quarterback chaos. And here's the uncomfortable truth. That might be a good thing. Why? Because chaos brings clarity. The Browns have tried the patient approach before. They've tried giving veterans one more year. They've tried easing in prospects. But when a guy is ready, when he's clearly outperforming everyone around him, there's only one real option. You hand him the keys. Because if you don't, you risk losing him. Not literally, but emotionally, spiritually. You risk sending the message that politics matter more than performance, that contracts matter more than chemistry, that timing matters more than truth. And Shedeur Sanders is the truth right now. He's the spark Cleveland didn't know it needed. He's the reset button for a franchise that's had its identity twisted in knots by front office dysfunction and quarterback misfires. You can already see the branding potential. Shedeur in orange and brown, front and center of every promo. Cleveland versus everybody with Sanders as the face. That signature helmet with the visor, the pre-game walks, the mic'd up leadership moments. He fits here. He feels like Cleveland. Hardworking, overlooked, scrappy, unapologetically confident. And that might be the most important part. Because Cleveland isn't looking for a perfect quarterback. They've tried that. They're looking for someone real. Someone who reflects the grind of the city. Someone who makes people believe, not because of a highlight reel, but because of how he shows up every single day. Shedeur Sanders is doing that. The only question now is whether the Browns are brave enough to see it. Because if they hesitate, if they try to play it safe with contracts and seniority, they'll miss the moment when everything starts to change, the moment when the rookie with the famous name stops being a surprise and starts being the future. And if that happens, if the Browns pull the trigger and give Shedeur the shot he's earned, well, Cleveland might just have a quarterback worth believing in, finally. And if they don't, well, then we'll know. We'll know this franchise hasn't learned from its past. But for now, the city is watching. The locker room is buzzing. The film doesn't lie. And Shedeur? He's still grinding in the rain, helmet on, throwing darts into the wind, just waiting for the call. Inside the Cleveland Browns facility, things are quietly unraveling, not in terms of chaos, but in terms of control. The people who used to run the show, the veteran quarterbacks, the assistant GMs, even the more traditional coaches, are starting to feel it. The system isn't bending. It's breaking. That's what happens when a fifth-round pick walks into the building and rewrites the rules of expectation. Let's talk about that moment. The moment Shedeur first started taking first-team reps. It wasn't announced. There wasn't a press conference. No dramatic tweet from the Browns social team. It just happened. A quiet rep here. A red zone snap there. Then a 9-4-10 stretch in a live scrimmage. Suddenly, guys in the locker room weren't whispering anymore. They were saying out loud, "He's the best quarterback here." And that terrified people, because when someone earns their way up that fast, it disrupts the hierarchy. Quarterbacks are the CEOs of NFL teams. They're not just leaders, they're investments. And investments don't get replaced easily. Joe Flacco is respected, no doubt. He's got a Super Bowl ring, and he can still sling it. But he's here as a bridge, not the destination. Kenny Pickett? He was supposed to be the redemption project. A guy the Browns could mold after he flamed out in Pittsburgh. But Shedeur's shadow makes him look small, tentative, even expendable. And then there's Dillon Gabriel, the supposed franchise rookie, taken higher in the draft. He was supposed to be the future. He got the flashy media treatment. He got the early reps. But now, he's watching a guy picked rounds later steal the spotlight, and probably the job. And here's what makes it worse. Shedeur knows it, but not in an arrogant, "I told you so" kind of way, in a calm, assured, "I've been here before" kind of way, because he has been here before. Remember, this is a kid who played with a bullseye on his back all through college. Being Deion Sanders' son didn't make it easier. It made it harder. Every touchdown came with an asterisk. Every mistake became a headline. And through it all, he kept showing up, kept throwing darts, kept climbing. Now he's doing it again, but on the biggest stage of all. Let's break down what's actually happening on the field. Shedeur isn't just completing passes. He's controlling games. In practice scrimmages, he's reading blitzes like a 10-year vet. He's audibling out of bad looks and hitting receivers on perfectly timed outs and slants. His pre-snap diagnosis is elite. His composure? Unshakable. You can't teach this. You either have it or you don't. And here's the part that the coaching staff, especially head coach Kevin Stefanski, is starting to reckon with. If you don't play in week 1, how do you explain it? Do you tell your fan base that you're rolling with a shaky, inconsistent Deshaun Watson out of contractual obligation? Do you put your trust in Pickett again, who's been solid but never special? Do you sell Gabriel as the guy, knowing full well he's not even the best rookie quarterback on the team? The film doesn't lie. The locker room whispers don't lie. The stats don't lie. And Shedeur's presence? That definitely doesn't lie. This isn't a flash-in-the-pan situation. This is a slow burn revolution. The kind that starts with quiet nods in meeting rooms and ends with a rookie getting a headset on the sideline while the veteran stares into space. What's even more stunning is how Shedeur handles it. He's not calling out the depth chart. He's not subtweeting anyone. He's not leaking to the media. He just works every single day, out there early, staying late, studying the tablet, leading walkthroughs, repeating reps when no one's watching. And that's how you win a team. Because football teams aren't won in the media or at the draft. They're won on Tuesday afternoons in film study, on Thursday mornings when it's pouring rain, on Sundays when the game's on the line and the pressure is soul-crushing. Shedeur's already proven he can handle the pressure. The question is, can the Browns? Because make no mistake, this decision is going to define the franchise for years. If they get it right, they might finally have their guy. The quarterback who doesn't just win games, but changes everything. If they get it wrong, they risk losing more than just games. They risk losing the locker room, the fan base, the future. And here's the twist. The fans already chose. Social media is flooded with Shedeur clips. Local Cleveland talk radio can't stop buzzing. Jerseys with Sanders on the back are already popping up at team stores. The streets are talking. The people want him. They see the hunger. They see the factor. They see hope. And after decades of letdowns, from Colt McCoy to Brandon Weeden to Baker Mayfield, hope matters. If Stefanski plays as smart, he leans into it. He lets Shedeur start week 1 and build the offense around him. Simplify the reads. Move the pocket. Let him use his legs. Create early wins to build momentum. Let him grow with the young receivers. Give him the space to stumble. without yanking him for one bad game. Because this could be the start of something. Something rare. Something real. Imagine what it would mean for Cleveland to finally have a quarterback they didn't have to question. A guy who walks into a huddle and silences the noise. Who executes. Who inspires. Who makes a drive feel inevitable. It's not a pipe dream. It's right there, wearing number 2. Helmet on, visor down, heart pounding, just waiting for the ball. Let's be honest. Cleveland has never had a quarterback like Shedeur Sanders. Not one who can throw for 300 and run for 80. Not one who can read the field like a surgeon. Not one who doesn't just embrace the spotlight, but owns it. This is bigger than a camp battle. This is legacy talk. And if the Browns are smart, they won't wait another season. Because the future isn't coming. It's already here. And his name is Shedeur.